Originally, my plan for tonight was to film the review of the CRKT tuna, which is another of the knives that I've been planning on filming and uploading and getting out there. But something happened Thursday night that I found out about on Friday that's it's just changed everything and made everything else just seem less important. And for those of you who don't know or maybe didn't know him, Nick Maffei, a uh, a good friend and a pretty prolific guy on Instagram, excellent knife modder. I mean, the characteristics, the adjectives, I could I could talk about him for a while. He died. He passed away Thursday night, and I don't really know what this video now is going to be. It might just be me rambling about Nick for a few minutes. And it might not mean anything to most of the people who watch it, but it just doesn't feel like it's something where I can I can get news like that. I can hear about something so tragic in our community and then just go back to filming a review. It doesn't work that way, especially not with him. And um, it's been, I mean, the last 24 hours after finding out that this had happened, it's just a whirlwind of emotions, just as it is with anyone, I guess, who loses someone and or knows someone, um, who passes. You you struggle to deal with it. You share stories, and I guess one of the things that has been comforting, inspiring, is just the number of people on Instagram who have reached out, even to me, but just reached out in general and posted things about him. And yeah, it's just been almost uplifting in a time when you shouldn't feel anything like that. Just seeing how many people, not just me, that he had these great relationships with, it just tells you how special he was. And um, Nick was a guy who I came to know him only through Instagram. So I mean, I think I had a conversation with him just a couple times, like an actual conversation, but it was almost all through Instagram, Messenger, that sort of thing. But I mean, I talk to him almost every day on there, more than anybody else on Instagram since I started on that platform. And the way that I got introduced to him, he actually he found me because he saw me posting all of the Spyderco Collectors Club number 90 knives that I can get sometimes. And he is he's a big Spyderco guy, he was, and um, always looking for the Delicas to mod and to do those Rit dye fades and all the stuff that he did, dragonflies, yeah, just a lot of models that he was interested in. So he found me and was trying to find out where I was getting my knives, and it just so happened that the Spydercos that he was interested in, I wasn't really interested in that often. And so something came along that I was able to get my hands on to help him out. Like, I'd buy it and then he'd pay me and I'd send it his way. And that's sort of how our relationship started. We would always chat about what knives were coming out. Hey, am I going to be able to get that one? Like, is that one that you're going to want? That kind of thing. And it just became an almost everyday kind of conversation, just about this knife or that and other brands. And I don't know. I mean, these relationships and these conversations just they happen with so many people, and you have the opportunity with the platforms that we have and the community that we have to have these kind of relationships with so many people. But for some reason with him, it was just different. Just he just behaved in a certain way that he just had a little bit more esteem, maybe is the word. My buddy my buddy Gear of the Gorge, the Gear of the Columbia Gorge on Instagram, he made a post shortly after this news came out, and he said that Nick was a great guy and also a savage. And that really struck home, because that's how he was. I mean, he was such a good guy and so generous, and I'll talk about his generosity in just a minute. But when something pissed him off, he said it. And the thing that I really admired about him was he wasn't just a talker, and he wasn't someone who would just, you know, talk shit the way it's so easy to do, either on Instagram or through text messaging, that kind of thing, when there's no one there to call you on it. You know, he sort of held himself to a standard that when he said something shitty about something or someone, like he meant it, and it was legit, and it was thought out and intentional. And you know, he didn't just talk for the sake of talking, which, I don't know. I mean, I know I've done that a lot in the past. I know a lot of people who've done that, and he just seemed to be a step above that, and I just really admired him. I thought before I filmed the video that I was out of tears. I don't know that I am. But yeah, I just really admired the way that he handled himself and the way that he communicated, and just I mean, the generosity is just another thing. So I would get him these knives. I'd get him these Spydercos, and, you know, $125 Spyderco. Right? All right, Nick. So I've got you this $125 knife, $5 for shipping. Send me $130, and he'd send me $140. You know, it would be $85, and he'd send me $90. You know, you would always just give a few extra dollars. Always, just no reason. And I'd say, Nick, man, you're paying me too much, so this time don't pay shipping at all. Just give me like $100. And he'd send me 110. That's how it was all the time. And that's just a little bit, but I mean, there's so many things. And again, like one of the things that I've just been scrolling through Instagram and looking at everybody's posts and reading so many comments about great things that he's done, that like he did the same things for me that he's done and to other people, and other people are telling these stories, and it's just wonderful to see how far his reach went, you know, how extended that was, and how many relationships he had like mine with people that I don't even know. I mean, it's just mind-blowing, the impact that he had. But yeah, there's one. I only have a couple knives from him, you know, and if you've ever seen his modded work, and I'll probably splice some pictures in, and I probably already have throughout the course of this video. I only have a couple of his knives at this point. So many of them that he did started with me. I got him the knife and then sent it to him, and he ended up doing something special with it. And there were a couple. I have a couple. I have this awesome Spyderco Pingo that he gave me a nice like red fade on and put a thumb stud on, so you can open it really nicely one-handed. But this is the one I want to talk about, the Boker Keyhon, because this is all about generosity. That said, he didn't charge me at all for this, so I just sent him the knife. He did the rest, no charge. Class act. But the Keyhon was this automatic version that was the Blade HQ one, and I had mentioned that I wanted to pick one up, and he just made it happen. He said, don't worry about buying it, I've got you. And through his connections and someone else that he knew, we'll talk about, you know, Rick Walker, got me this knife. You know, and there are a lot of other people that he did similar kind of stuff for, just, you know, because he was a nice guy. And I mean, it's just surreal to think that relationship is over and those conversations are at a permanent end. It's crazy to think that, I mean, he, for me, has been the backbone of the community as far as I know it, at least on Instagram, and and that's gone. But more than that, there's a family who has lost a guy that, if he was this good to me and to us, like, what kind of husband and father was he? And I mean, I know the answer to that question, even though I never met him. So I can only imagine the difficulties there, and just what that's like. So one thing I mentioned earlier that, again, is a piece of positivity, and something that is not positive, is that the community comes together and shows that people are just overwhelmingly good. You know, they can be, at least. And so there have already been GoFundMe's and auctions for knives. I think River's Edge Cutlery did this awesome thing where they have a prototype of a new paramilitary 2 Sprint that they're auctioning off. Any of the stuff that that is still going on, I'll link to down below. So if you want to help out, I mean, that's fantastic. Not really what this video was meant to be about, but obviously that is a big thing that that would be great if anyone wanted to get involved. But River's Edge Cutlery is doing an auction for a paramilitary 2 prototype, and I think that the winning bid right now at the time of me filming this is like $1,500. I mean, that's incredible. A couple other places doing auctions, but I mean, I don't even know that River's Edge Cutlery knew Nick that well. I maybe, but that's just one of those things. I saw a number of people commenting on that. You just made a you just made a customer for life, and add me to that list. I mean, it's incredible, just the way people give, people bidding and the people helping out. To that end, I will be doing something like that myself. There are a couple Spydercos for 2020 that should be coming out soon that Nick had some interest in, and one of those I will do either like a raffle or an auction for, and proceeds will go to his family, that sort of thing. But I mean, that money is great to show the way that, you know, we can come together for support, but the loss is just immeasurable. And I don't know, I just struggle to come up with the words to really have an explanation for how things are supposed to feel now. I was back online, and I was just like I felt like it should be the only thing that anyone talks about or thinks about, because it's the only thing I can really talk about or think about. And it's just going to change things. It's just not going to be the same. And it's not just knives that I mean, it's just everything. There's a very big presence in my life, and I mean, I know that he was that for a lot of people. So just wanted to tell my part and share my experience with Nick, and give it that time and say thank you for all those memories. And that's it, guys. If you have any experiences with Nick, if you knew him, let me know in the comments. Would always like to hear that kind of stuff. Like I said, links to everything will be here, but I'll definitely post more about it as more information comes out as to ways that you could get involved if you want to. But any other questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, let me know. I appreciate you watching. If you did, yeah, I appreciate it. Take care. Have a good one.